Hello and welcome, my name is Pierre and today I'm here with my April wrap-up. This month was weird. So I read a total of 4 books, 2 of those being rereads, and I DNF'd a total of, I DNF'd like 10 or 11 books? Oh. It was a really weird reading month for me and I will explain it to you now. If you're following me on social media, you've probably been aware of my weekly mental breakdown regarding moving. I was offered a job in Sydney and now we're moving to Sydney as opposed to moving to Melbourne where we were planning to move, but now we're moving to Sydney and we have to move to Sydney in the next 2 weeks, which I'm super excited for because I'm super excited for the job, but I'm actually fucking terrified because I've never lived out of home, I've never lived in a different state, so I'm terrified and excited. So I'm having a mental breakdown, as you could probably tell by the voice and the talking and the death in my eyes. Please help me, good God. So I have been super busy with house hunting, which is fucking hard. Finding a house that's pet friendly is even harder. Like, my cats are probably cleaner than your children, so let us in. What else? What else? So April was fun. Nothing much happened except for the moving and the moving. What's the next month? May. May seems to be exciting. There's a few new releases coming out, i.e. Aka War. Oh my god! I'm super fucking hyped for Aka War. Like, I always was hyped, but then I reread A Court of Mist and Fury this month, which I'll obviously get to, but now I'm just obsessed. Like, I loved it when it came out. I read it like 4 or 5 times, constantly, was in like a huge book slump, and then I reread it again thinking, oh, you know, I'll just try and space it out over the next few days so I can finish it as soon as I get Aka War. I read it in one sitting because I was obsessed and now I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Hence why I have DNF'd so many books. In regards to Aka War, I will be doing some sort of video to it. I'm not going to be doing any theories or lead-ups or spoilers just because my brain can't handle that right now, but I will be, I guess, kind of vlogging my reactions when I get Aka War. I'm gonna set up the tripod and I guess put it on me while I'm reading, so speed that shit up because we'll be there for a while, but try and read it all in one sitting, have some of my spoilers to you because I'm not good at reading a book, writing notes, and then re-explaining them. It's just what happens at the time. So I'm gonna try a different way of reviewing Aka War, if that makes sense. In terms of some spoilers have been released, I like spoilers, so I went actively seeking them. I'm very happy and I'm very sad and I'm feeling a lot of feelings regarding the spoilers, which I'm not gonna mention or react to any more than I just did, but it's hyping me up even more for this book and these characters in this world, and I'm so excited. Those of you who aren't completely aware of it, Aka War is the last book in Faysand / Feyre's trilogy journey, but there are going to be 3 more books set in the Prythian world. I'm not sure if they're going to be novellas or prequels or sequels or whatever they're going to be. I really hope that one of them is like Amren's history. I would love to know more about Amren. I'd also love to know more about like Cassian and Azriel and Rhys like training in the Illyrian camps. I would like to know more of Mor's story. I know we have a lot, we got a lot in Aka Math and we'll probably get some more in Aka War, but I would just like more on the Night Court and the Inner Circle. Like, I care about the other, but I don't really want to get introduced to a whole new set of characters, but I kind of do if they're great. Anyway, books, let's get to the books. Before I get to the books, I ordered this BookSac from the guys at BookSac, which are Australian, which was super great because I'm all for supporting Australians, but it's a Nevernight inspired BookSac, so like you put your book in here to keep it safe, and I've been using it all the time, which is why it's already dirty. I'll leave a link to those guys down below if you are interested in a BookSac. Let's get into the books that I read this month. As I said, I read 4 books, 2 of them are rereads, 2 of them were new books. I liked them all. So the first book that I reread was A Court of Mist and Fury because Aka War is coming out. I think I already pretty much covered that. I love this book, I love these characters. I'm learning to appreciate Feyre more every time I reread it. Like I said, I was planning to space this out over like a week or 2. I read it in one sitting. Sue me. The next book I reread this month was Nevernight by J. Kristoff, just for the hell of it. God's Grave doesn't come out until September, but I was really vibing Nevernight. I don't remember why, but I wanted to reread it, and I did reread it because I fucking love it. If you don't know already, please read Nevernight. It's really such a great book. The next book I requested from Harper Voyager, and that is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. I had no idea about this book until like my friends were like, hey, this book is kind of similar to Nevernight in the way that it's like assassin and school and death and killing in school, and I love schools for training mainly assassins or warriors or death. What does that say about me? I don't know. But anyway, Red Sister, it was tough to get into the start. My brain was still like Akamath, so it took me a while, but I fucking loved it by the end of it, and I know there's going to be more books, obviously. Basically, they're a convent of girls and they are raised to become killers, whether that's killers with like swords or poisons or magic or whatever. So anyway, we follow the story of Nona, who is 8 when she comes to the convent, and she's just this she's like a more advanced version of Mia from Nevernight. This whole book is kind of just a more advanced version of Nevernight, I guess if I could put it that way, but obviously very different. One of the things I really liked in Red Sister is like girl code and the female friendships throughout. Like I don't even think, is there, like there's not even a male in this. There's no boys in this, but well, I mean like there's male characters, but there's no like love interests or side male interests. Now that I think about it, there's just men that she kills. Huh. Anyway, I really liked it eventually once I got into it. I recommend that you read this if you're into fantasy, also if you like Nevernight, also if you like schools with assassins in training. The next book I read I finished last night. It's taken me a few days to read it because I really wanted to savor it. I'm also literally about to finish filming this and go out and buy the second and the third book, and that's Bloodsong by Anthony Ryan. I've seen this book on the shelves for a while and I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know anything about it. I mean, like, I like the cover for some reason. I like the cover, I don't know why. I know there's like a few other covers and some of them are better, but I really like this one. So anyway, I picked it up, I read the back of it very briefly, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a go. I've got nothing else to read. I was hoping to just read this in the time between finishing Akamath and Akawar coming out, so I think I had about 2 weeks. I tried to stretch this out. I stretched it out about 4 days. Again, my current theme is obviously epic fantasy with a school in which they are sent to train to become, you know, whether it's magic or assassins or killers, which is generally where my favourite path leads to. So Valen is sent to the 6th Order when he's about 11, and is basically trained to become a warrior to protect the realm and protect the faith. It was really reminiscent of The Name of the Wind in the term that it's like a chronicle of someone's life. Like in this book, Valen is retelling his life and his stories to this chronicler while he's on his way to battle this man because he killed his dad. If that makes sense. It's a really cool chronicle story. And I'm interested to see how the second and third book go because I know it's not in the same narrative voice in terms of there's no chronicler. I'm interested to see how that goes. But I really love this book. I really love Valen as a protagonist. I love the side characters. There's animals in there, which I love. I don't want to give too much away, but there's like that mystical element as well. At the moment, these sorts of epic fantasies are just my absolute favorite. They're sucking me in. The world was incredible. The language was incredible. The characters were great. And I really recommend Bloodsong if you're into that sort of stuff. Alright, so the next lot of books are books that I DNF'd, mostly because I had just finished reading Akamath and didn't really want to read anything else. A lot of them I will try and read again. It's just nothing was capturing me within the first 100 pages because I was so like Rescind, Night Court, Inner Circle. These are books that I started to read, got a various amount of pages through, and gave up on because of Akamath, basically. First one is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. This one wasn't actually Akamath related. I was just bored as shit. This is basically a retelling inspired by the story of the Goblin King. There's this girl called Liesel and her sister is taken by the Goblin King, so she has to go underground and basically find a way to get her sister back. I wasn't into it. I think I actually got quite a ways through this before I started like skim reading and just being like, okay, what's anything interesting? I didn't love it. I know a lot of people are loving it. This isn't one that I'm going to try and start again because I got so far through and I was just really bored. The next one I started, and I will pick up again, I was just bored at the time, was A Girl Called Owl by Amy Wilson, which is this strange retelling of a young girl named Owl who finds out that her father was Jack Frost and that she has Frost-related abilities. So I do want to try and get back into it because it was interesting. It was a nice, easy read, but I was just, for some reason, I was bored at the time. The next one I DNF'd was Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Balaza, and that was just pure boredom because I don't care about space. If you're not Red Rising, I don't care about space, is basically what I've gotten to. I probably got about like 60 to 70 pages through and was just bored. I didn't care too much about the characters, I didn't really care about the plot line, I had no desire to see where it was going. I probably won't try this one again, which sucks because I was really excited for it. The next book I DNF'd, but I will be picking back up because I didn't realize what kind of book it was, but it is The Last Witch by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm so sorry. It basically follows Geralt, who is a witcher, who's just a guy with abilities, and his kind of journeys. I didn't realize that it was literally a bunch of journey stories. I thought it was like one coherent novel, but it's like, you know, one story where he faces this guy, and one story where he faces this one, and one story faces this one. So I wasn't prepared for that. Now that I am prepared for it, I'm going to reread it. The next book that I DNF'd was Half a King by Joe Abercrombie. You know by now I've tried to pick this book up like 10 times and just cannot get into it. I got further than I ever have before, 75 pages, and was super bored. Probably won't pick this one up again. I think I'm done with it. Next book I DNF'd was Black Hearts by Nicole Casterman, which is a loose retelling slash inspired by Blackbeard. I decided to read it because I do like pirates and I do like Black Sails, and they just recently introduced Blackbeard on Black Sails. I started reading it and I got really bored and I just didn't care about it. There's really nothing that interests me about this one, except for the cover. I'm a cover whore. Anyway, the next book that I read, just for some reason I thought I'd love it and I just struggle with it, but it's Death Note, which is obviously a graphic novel, which is, I guess I picked it up because I know it's coming to Netflix in a very whitewashed version, so I was interested to see like just what it was about in general. I don't know why I expected graphic novels to have less text. I got about halfway through and then was just confused and over it and didn't want to read it. The next book I DNF but we'll probably try and pick up again, but I was in an ACAMAF slump, was The Valiant by Leslie Livington, which is a kind of Spartan version of like a female Spartan, a female warrior, if that makes sense. I got about 61 pages through. Probably less than that actually, and I will reread it because I know so many people like it. I was just in a slump and couldn't get into it because nothing was as good as recent. The next book I DNF'd and probably won't pick back up again because I don't really care about romance was The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simmons. I picked this one up because a lot of my friends are in love with it. I just don't like romance, and that's literally all it was. I got through probably about 100 pages and it was literally just people meeting. That's all. Give me some action and fantasy any day. The next book I DNF'd, I did get quite a ways through and then just got bored. It's like Greek mythology inspired in terms of like they just have Greek mythology names, but that's Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman, which yeah, I got a ways through and then just got bored and didn't care about it anymore. Anyway, that is my wrap up for the month of April. It was a weird reading month because I was so busy with other things. Hopefully next month will be better, although I'm doubting it because I will be in the process of moving and starting a new job, so we will see. But I'm about to currently pack down my entire bookshelf and put them into many, many boxes and transport them across states. So the next few videos I have are backlogged videos that I recorded like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. They're out of date in regards to like my favorite books, that's why. And they will be, because I have now 2 new favorite books as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Bye!